What's up, amigos? It's Chris Lewis, back with another Prodigy Maker Minute. As you may know, I'm the former #1 for Cornell University, pro circuit player, elite junior development coach, and author and educator. Author of The Secrets of Spanish Tennis and the Tennis Technique Bible. In this Prodigy Maker Minute, I want to talk about the great Lluis Bruguera and what he always told me. He imparted a lot of wisdom to me. He's a legendary coach in Spain, and I've been studying with him for over a decade. And Lluis Bruguera always said that it's important to be solid. It's important to have an organized game. It's important to be ordered. It's important to be consistent and to have a stable game. And that is true all across Spain. You'll hear not just Lluis Bruguera, but pretty much every coach in Spain believes that. They believe that from the depths of their heart, that a player needs to be organized. You hear that word a lot in Spain. A player needs to be consistent and steady. A player needs to be stable. And what does that look like? Back in the US here, I see so many players, thousands of players that probably come through my door who are very unstable, who are very erratic, chaotic when they play, perhaps impatient, and very inconsistent. And that is just prohibited in Spain. It's part of their culture, part of the DNA of the tennis culture in Spain is to develop consistent, organized players. So players who can rally with a high shot tolerance, players who can hit 5 to 10 to 15 balls or more when necessary. But the interesting thing is, Lluis Bruguera always says that to be solid is not to be a defensive player. And here in the US, I think those are often conflated terms, to be consistent, but also to be defensive. That's not necessarily the case. You can be solid, but also very aggressive. But the solidness, the stability, the consistency is like your foundation that you build your attack shots on. You build your weapons upon that foundation of being solid. But here in the US, I don't think we always see it that way. And many coaches and players sort of equate being solid with being a pusher. You hear that a lot in the US, with being a grinder. And it's sort of an embarrassing term. It's sort of something not to be desired in the US. But in Spain, it's valued so much. The ability to put the ball over the net one more time than your opponent, to be steady, to be stable, to be solid is the highest virtue in Spain. But interestingly, here in the US, our culture doesn't see it quite the same way. And I think that's unfortunate. So with all my players who come to train with me, they learn some of that Spanish philosophy and they learn some of that Spanish approach. And I try to help pretty much everyone that comes into my club or gets to work with me. We try to develop that capacity to be solid, consistency, and to be organized. And there's lots of ways to do that. That's part of the secrets of Spanish tennis, how they develop organized and solid players. That'll have to be the subject of another video. But for your information, Spain, what's it all about there? The greatest coach in Spain, or one of the greatest of all time, Lluis Bruguera, believes strongly that you have to be solid. You have to be consistent. You can't be erratic. And that is a major pillar in the Spanish system of training. I hope you enjoyed that piece of wisdom from Spain and from Lluis Bruguera. If you like that, please consider watching or listening to my podcast. It's our big show, the Prodigy Maker Show. It's available on all the podcasting platforms. And we do a live show here on YouTube at youtube.com/Chris Lewis. Thanks, guys. See you on the next program.